Okay, I know there's a lot of people out there who suffer from the same thing I do: depression, anxiety, and not much is said about it on YouTube except for a mention here and there. I'm here today to talk about how I am trying to, with the help of medicine and therapy, try to get better and become a citizen again, a working citizen, hate staying at home. It's a really hard subject to face, and it's a really hard subject to talk about because I am a two-time suicide survivor. That is within just the last year. I tried to OD on pain medicine. After the second time, I finally realized I needed to get help and that I need to be around and that my life is worth living. I have a beautiful 16-year-old daughter that I need to be here for. I have a wonderful husband I also need to be here for. And I have loads of other family, and they would all miss me greatly, and they have all told me this. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, is sit here and talk about the pain, the torture of everyday life. But I'm gonna do it. Not just in one video. I'm hoping to make more, depending on if you guys like it or not. My personal issues are that I don't have very much self-esteem. I never have. Somewhere along my line of years, and I'm 38 years old, somewhere along that line, I lost confidence in myself. I've had a lot of family members that have passed on that, I really cared about. One in particular, my grandmother, who was my rock. She died when I was 18. So that was 20 years ago. And ever since her death, I have tried to fill that void. And obviously that's a void that's never going to be filled. I'm on my second marriage, and I think the first one was, I can't say it was a mistake, because out of that marriage came my beautiful daughter, and I love her so much. She is my world. My husband and her are my life. And I've noticed that I've looked on YouTube to find things of people who have been going through the same thing as I have, and looked to find, other ways of helping besides medicine and therapy and all kinds of stuff. I know you can write journals, stuff like that. And some of that's hard to do because if you can't tell, I'm not very much of a verbal person. I'm more of keep quiet, keep to yourself, and bottle it all up inside. Little background is I've suffered from depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember. The earliest age I can remember is 8 years old, going into the bathroom and thinking that I could take bottles and bottles of vitamins and it would kill me. Well, obviously not. Vitamins are to help people, not hurt them. I used to take shampoo bottles and hit myself in the face trying to give myself a concussion or put myself in a coma. Again, these are all being done at the age of 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I didn't know any better that, that stuff wasn't really going to hurt me, except for give me a bloody nose and some bloody lips. Then I got towards my teen years and I learned about something called cutting. I didn't necessarily want scars all over my body, so instead of doing that, I did a kind of form of cutting, but it's called carving, where I carved names, hearts, dolphins, stuff like that into my legs with ink from a pen and a heated needle. And then after my grandmother died when I was 18, I tried to slit my wrist, but I chickened out. I couldn't do it. And I'm grateful for that. The only problem is at the time I was still a teenager, still being a rebel, thinking I knew what I was doing and nobody could tell me otherwise. So I was being forced into treatment. And if you're a person who knows teenagers, teenagers do not like to be forced to do something. Age of 22, I gave birth to my daughter by C-section. Best day of my life is getting to hold her in my arms. Yeah, I can't describe. If you're a parent, a mother, you understand. It's just not something I can describe. It's the best feeling in the world, knowing you created this perfect little thing. And I was so happy because I had been wishing and wishing the whole 10 months in my case, for a little girl, because I didn't know. I went with getting a surprise. So I didn't know what I was having. And to my greatest shock, I had this beautiful little girl. Because everybody was like, no, you're having a boy. Because both my brother and sister had 2 boys, and then my sister got a girl. And here I popped out a girl first try. And she is my only child, and I love her to death. She's my mini-me. And that's another thing that can help you through depression, anxiety, having a support system. And she's one of my biggest supporters, along with my husband and my parents. I don't know what life would be like without them. And I don't want to imagine what life would be like without her. End of August of last year, 2017, I popped pills after an argument over something so stupid. And it was an argument between me, my daughter, and my husband, who is her stepfather. It was just a stupid argument. Don't even know what it was about, but I know it was stupid. And I just popped a bunch of pills. I popped a whole bottle of pills, gabapentin. And now that I look back on it, that was one of the worst things I ever did, because my daughter seen me in a state that she didn't need to see me in. She's the one that called 911, and that was one of the worst days of my life. And then fast forward to the beginning of July of this year, I woke up in the middle of the night, no reason, wasn't upset, wasn't fighting with anybody, didn't have no arguments, and yet again with gabapentin, I popped almost a whole bottle of that. My husband caught me and took the bottle away, so I didn't get to take the whole bottle. But I also had taken a whole bottle of Tramadol, which is another painkiller. I realized after that I needed help. I started seeing a therapist, talking to my doctor to get medication worked out. And the battle's going to continue. And it's not going to be an easy one. My therapist and my husband actually gave me the idea to start filming and putting it on YouTube to see if maybe anybody out there knows other ways to help cope. I don't have very good coping skills, or at least I don't think I do. And you can make any kind of comments you want, bad comments, good comments, I don't care. I've dealt with bullies my whole life. I've been obese my whole life. So nothing you can say is going to hurt me, because I've already probably heard it. I want to try to help people. I want to try and maybe give people hope out there that there is a way to dig yourself out of this hole. And don't try and do it alone, because you're putting yourself up for fail. You need backup. You really do. You need a support system. I hope you like this. If you do, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, anything, and maybe I'll see you again in another video. Thank you.